So last week I was sitting in Hawaii, enjoying myself, walking down the beach, 70 something degrees, nice, calm ocean. It rained a couple days after that, but I get this call and I didn't answer. It's just enjoying myself. Guy calls me, somebody I know, somebody I'm doing a favor for. You tell this windy here? Well, it's a cold wind. I'm not in Hawaii anymore. He goes, I really need you to do something. I need you to fly back to the East Coast. And I got these couple properties I'm looking at. And I want you to scope the area and tell me what you think. And I said, I like to spend at least a month in Hawaii. And then I come back and go up the East Coast from Atlanta to DC. I would have only been in Hawaii like 10 days. And I said, dude, I didn't say dude, but I said, can't you find somebody else? And he goes, no, not you. We've we know your work. We know what you think and your experience and everything. And I go, but you know how much that's going to cost you? Huh? I'm a big guy. I'm about 6'2", and my jacket size is a 54. So I don't fly in the back of the plane. I fly in the front of the plane. Going back to the East Coast just for a quick trip to look at some properties. It's fine when it's got a schedule. I schedule like a month at a time to do this, but to fly back for a special trip just to do a handful of properties, I'm not cheap. You can do the math, but when I'm on location, say in Atlanta or DC, and I'm going down 85, 95, 75, and I'm looking at hotels, QSRs, strip centers, investors and different funds will want me to go look at certain properties. And and I do it like a handful at a time. I do two or three or four for them at a time. They got to be two or three or four. I need really to do between two and four. I'm shivering. It's cold here. 2 to 4 in a day because it's $3,000 to $4,000 a day. And I'm not doing an appraisal. I know I'm an appraiser. So when I get back here, I'll get back on that plane. Anyways, so it adds up. The flyback for this trip's 15 grand. And everybody goes, oh, that's not a money. No, it's not. It's really not. My decisions can save them hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not amateurs that hire me. It's professionals, people that family offices, banks, funds, private investors. They're the ones that hire me to go out and look at these properties. They want my input. They know armchair underwriting just does not work. And they want somebody that can spot something that most people don't have the expertise or the experience to spot. Because you can look at a bunch of cap rates and they all can be the same. You can look at a bunch of properties the same, similar location, but there's so many other variables that's going to make the difference in the long run. So anyway, I'm back on the East Coast right now for a couple days to look at these. My price is plus expenses, by the way. So they're flipping the bill. And so I'm here and I'm going to show you some properties. Now, there are some old type franchise properties, and I will consider these. This one is a Krystal, a Sonic, an Arby's. Those are like the older type franchise brands. You don't see many people rushing out to want to buy a Krystal's, a Sonic, or an Arby's. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm not trying to down put those. There's some great investments in an Arby's or a Krystal's, or it all depends on the number, the location, and the year over year. But most of them, that's those brands are fading. In my experience with the properties, that's what I see. So here I am looking at a Krystal that's vacant. And I'm going to show you this because we're looking at 4 or 5 properties today. And I'm going to tell you what my concerns are. And this is to give you some insight and education. I'm not offering any of these properties for sale. When you see this video, it will be months after I've been here. I don't post these up why these properties are in play. I do it. I'm making educational videos. I'm teaching you what an experienced person that has 4 decades in the field, on site, looking at private investor myself, look at when we're looking at these type of properties. So let's take a quick look around at this Krystal. Now, this Krystal here, it's got a good lot. And what I mean by good lot, it's got a corner location and you have sufficient parking on both sides. One thing you find in many of these old QSRs is the lot is undersized for current market conditions. The drive-through is more predominant than anything right now. If you want to put a double drive-through in, you got to have that room for that. And some of these old lots are just so narrow or have bad access that you can't do it. But this is an old Krystal building. This would have to be a complete set. The parking lot's basically, I mean, you can see the cracks and it's come to the end of its useful life. The bad part about this property here is currently it's on a very busy road. Now I've seen this road transition over the last 30 years. I used to go down here all the time. And it has declined and now it's, I think, coming back. But this property has been two access points in front and one on the side there. But you have this concrete median here, so you can't cut across the front within the parking lot. So definitely anybody redeveloping the site want to work on that. They'd want to have it so the car can create a loop. So they could come in from the side street down to the side entrance, come up down the building. But let it go. I mean, probably could be used. But review it for the new brand. Because you want to save. But here we got somebody sleeping there. So this is what happens, even in busy locations. But you got good parking on this side, double rows, lane here coming in, lane there going out, and of course the side street. So I like this property because of the corner location, because the access points, because the lot sizes, because the area's having renewed interest. But it all depends on the price, what you can get. Because at some point, this property was occupied and earning income. When it doesn't have a lease and it's in a state of needing to be repaired, you got to consider all of that. And I got to consider why I'm here. Man, sometimes money's not enough. Sometimes you have enough money and you ask yourself why you're doing this. But I do it for my own education as well as yours. I do hotels, QSRs, quick service restaurants, strip centers, and I'm forgetting one. I'm so cold I can't think. But anyways, this property, I think I got icicles on me now. But anyways, I'm not offering it for sale. I'm just trying to teach you what we look for when we're out in the field. Because it makes a world of difference. When you see something on a map, when you see something on paper, it doesn't compare to the on-site visit combined with experience. The traffic count here is great. Demographics are improving, but there's a lot of new development around it. That's probably hit this hard. You got all the main franchises with newer buildings around here. This is a good site.